Good morning, guys. Richard. Today in this video, it is a part 5 video on the mighty Toyota Supra generations. So sorry if I've not been filming much recently, just because I've been busy in college and just getting uh, ready for my final days in college, and then I'll be finished with it actually. And I will also be having exams as well, and for some catch up sessions to go to as well for college, which will be important for me to do. Just so I need to really get prepared and start to really focus on what I got to do and all that stuff. And also, I really do need to start work to get to that step of finishing college. So I fully even completed my e-portfolio actually. It's basically this kind of system what we got in college, basically. So it would show you all of your work that you have, and also for what that is, basically free portfolio for mechanics in our college. What that is it's basically website. If you search up IMI ePortfolio, for those of you who go into Tresham College in Wellingborough and do a motor vehicle or anything like that, basically they will tell you to go onto a website that says you search up IMI ePortfolio, you go onto that, and then after that they will give you they'll even give you your code, like the number to log into that, and you can just also like put username and insert your username. You can call it whatever you want. It's totally up to you. And also for passwords, it has to be 6 digits, letters, numbers. It has to be 6 of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then after that, it will show you your progress of how you're doing so far. And even after that, it will show you student learning online, I think it was. If you click that, it will show you everything onto the other side of what's for your work, and if it's being, and if you send the work and it's being marked and it's marking by your teacher, and that the teacher sends you the work back of for example, things you missed out on, things you need to put in, or you missed out to put in, or you might have put the wrong thing on there. I've been there at some time for that. I was exactly the same as that. I've been doing this e-portfolio for a year. It's fully complete actually, so it's all 100%, and we've done everything we've got. So we did wheels and tires, steering, brakes, the health and safety, suspension, coolant, lubrication, oil, spark ignition systems, say with them brakes, suspension, steering, wheels as well. Yeah, wheels, brakes, suspension, steering, oil and cooling, the lubrication stuff, the spark ignition system, exhaust, we done that as well. And even the transmission as well, we've done that as well. It was good. So for all that, I think there was 9 or 10, I don't know, but I believe there was 9 assignments we had to do, and we've done all of them for the following days we had to complete them by. And all these targets were had to be completed by the 10th of June 2023, which we all managed to do it. So we all succeeded, so thumbs up for that. And it's all 100%. We passed our course. It's good. And I'll also be back for level 2 actually for my final year of college. And so I will also be working, so I will not have time to doing YouTube, just because I'll be working from my job and all that. I'm gonna be super busy for that. And I know a lot of you guys want me to do YouTube, but in reality I will also have to work. I mean, it's important for me to do that. So but I don't know, I'll see what I can do if I have a spare time left over. If because mainly I would be working for my days off. Usually on Wednesday I would like on Wednesday I would be working, because usually every Wednesday I would do YouTube. But very soon, that's where I reach the end of the line almost, because like I'll be working for my job and all that stuff, and so I figured it would be important just like. I mean, YouTube is good, but I also have to work for my job to get paid. That's also more important as well. So, really important for me to do that. So, I'll find myself a job at some point, and I'll be working. So, but I will do more YouTube shorts. I promise you, I will do more YouTube shorts in the future. Just because they got tons of more views than videos of what I do and all that stuff. But I'll see what I can do. So yeah, without any further ado, guys, let's get started. Oh, and before we start, I'm gonna be doing like a couple videos today. So I got like a few at the moment. So I got let's see what I have. So I got so I've done actually wait, hold on. Alright, so I've done the video on ASX Motorsports and the Lamborghini Terza Millennium, and so the only thing I will also be doing as well is this, the Kawasaki Ninja 400. Now it is a bike, I'll admit, but a lot of you guys are interested in cars and all that stuff, but I've never done a video on a bike before, so So I figured I might do one video on a bike, and then I'll do more videos on cars, you know, just because cars are more safer than, like, bikes. I'll admit, like, the bikes are, like, super fast off the line. But, like, when it goes to corners, they'll, like, struggle, because cars are just corner much better than, like, bikes and all that stuff, so. And never mind the cross, because I printed this off, and it was double-sided. It printed off the same exact one. Because I was meant to print this one off with like the overview, and then I was also meant to print off the design and the announcement and the 2022 update. And I printed that one off, and it just came up with the exact same copy. Look at this, the Kawasaki Ninja 400. I crossed it out because it was exactly the same as this one right here. I didn't need two, I needed only one. But it sometimes happens like this. Like, it's how it works usually. Whenever I print stuff off, it's usually double-sided. Usually it's not, but it happens like this sometimes. But so, anyways. Ow. Don't do that. It's gonna hurt. Alright. There we go. Without any further ado, guys, let's get started. So remember, like the video and subscribe. Comment below what you guys think, and hit the notification bell. Hit all so you're alerted when I make new uploads. So let's get started. So the 4th generation A.A. Supra, the 1993 edition. So that's everybody's favorite Supra, my favorite Supra as well. The best. I mean, I like the Mark V, but the Mark IV has always been legendary. So Mark IV for the wins. So it's a winner. It's the best. All right. So 4th generation A80 1993. Its overview is first, so let's do it. So production is from May 1993 to August 2002, because that's when it ended. Same as with the R34 Skyline. So model years is from 1994 to 1998. Yeah, 1994, 1998 it was. So its assembly is in Japan at Toyota City in Aichi, at the Motomachi plant in May 1993 to April 1997. At Susono in Shizuoka. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's spelled Shizuoka. Shizuoka? I don't know how to pronounce that. And it was at the Higashi Fuji plant from May 1997 to August 2002. And the designer is Isao Tsuzuki from 1990. Now it's the body and chassis. It's related from two vehicles, the Toyota Soarer and the Lexus SC Z30 edition. Powertrain, 2 versions you can get of the engine, and 3 versions of the gearbox. But out of the engine first, because it's important. So 2 versions of the engine you can get is a 3-liter 2JZ GE inline 6, and then you can get a 3-liter 2JZ Yeah, 3 liter 2JZ GTE twin turbo inline six engine. So I believe the GE is naturally aspirated, the GTE is twin turbocharged. Or I think the GE is single turbo. I don't know. One of the two, either naturally aspirated or single turbo. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, 3 liter 2JZ GTE twin turbo inline six. Transmission you could get is a 5-speed W58 manual, a 6-speed V16X Getrack 233 manual, or a 4-speed A340E automatic. Next is the dimensions. The wheelbase is first. 2,550 millimeters, 100.4 inches. Length 4,515 to 4,520 millimeters. 177.8 to 178 millimeters. Not millimeters, sorry. 177.8 to 178 inches. Its width is 1,810 millimeters, 71.3 inches. Height 1,275 millimeters, which is 50.2 inches. Curb weight, this is for these different versions, is 3,109 to 3,329 pounds. 1,410 to 1,510 kilos for the naturally aspirated model. We got 3,285 to 3,285 to 3,461 pounds. Yeah, 3,285 to 3,461 pounds, which is 1,490 to 1,570 kilos for the turbo model. The A.A. program began in February 1989 under various terms for designing, product planning, and engineering led by Aizawa Suzuki. By the middle of 1990, which is around 1995 I think, a final A80 design concept from TTCA Toyota Technical Center Aichi was approved and frozen for production in late 1990. So it was the late 90s. The first test mules were hand-built in A70 bodies during the late 90s, followed by the first A80 prototypes being hand-assembled or like hand-built in 1991. Again, using subframe, suspension, and drivetrain assemblies from the Z30 Soarer, which is the Lexus SC300 and SC400. Pre-production of the test models started in December 1992 with 20 units made, and official mass production began in April 1993. The fourth generation of the Supra again shared its platform with the upscale Soarer coupe sold in the US as the Lexus SC. Although the two cars looked similar dimension-wise, the new Supra was more than 13 inches, 340 millimeters shorter than its luxurious cousin. This redesign saw Toyota placing great emphasis on a more serious high-performance car. The A80 featured two new engines, a naturally aspirated Toyota 2JZ GE having a power output of 164 kilowatts, 223 PS, 220 horsepower at 5,800 RPM, and 210 pound-feet, 285 newton-meters of torque at 4,800 RPM, and a twin turbocharged Toyota 2JZ GTE having a power output of 206 kilowatts, 280 PS, 276 horsepower, and 318 pound-feet, 431 newton-meters of torque for the Japanese model. Don't even know what the RPM was for, but I believe it's a bit higher, I don't know. For the export model, for the American and European markets, Toyota upgraded the Supra Turbo's engine by installing smaller steel-wheeled turbochargers and bigger fuel injectors, and so on and so forth. This increased the power output to 239 kilowatts, 325 PS, 321 horsepower at 5,600 RPM, and 315 pound-feet, 427 newton-meters of torque at 4,000 RPM, so a little bit less than the the 431 used for the twin turbo model. So yeah, 427 newton meters of torque at 4,000 RPM. And also have 243 kilowatts, 330 PS, 326 horsepower, and 325 pound-feet, 441 newton meters of torque. You have 441 newton meters of torque for the European market versions. So those are for the European versions of the Supras. You have for European Supras. So they have a bit more power and a bit more torque than the Japanese edition. Upon its launch in 1993, it was the first Toyota batched car to include a passenger airbag as standard, which is for the US market only. Alright, the twin turbochargers operated in sequential mode instead of parallel. Initially, all of the exhaust gases are routed to the first turbine for reduced lag. This resulted in boost and enhanced torque as early as 1800 RPM, where it already produced 300 pound-feet, 407 newton meters of torque. At 3,500 RPM, some of the exhaust gases are routed to the second turbine for a pre-boost mode. Although none of the compressor output is used by the engine at this point. At 4,000 RPM, the second turbo's output is used to increase the first turbo's output. Compared to the parallel mode, sequential mode turbochargers provide faster low RPM response and increased high RPM boost. This high RPM boost was also aided with technology originally presented in the 7M-GE in the form of the ACIS acoustic control induction system, which is a way of managing the air compression pulses within the intake piping as to increase power. For this generation, the Supra received a new 6-speed Getrag Toyota Toyota V160 gearbox on the turbo models, while the naturally aspirated models were equipped with a 5-speed W58 manual gearbox revised from the previous model. Each model was offered with a 4-speed automatic with manual shifting mode, which is short for MSM. All cars were equipped with 5-spoke aluminum alloy wheels. The naturally aspirated models had 16-inch wheels and the turbo models had 17-inch wheels. The difference in wheel size was to accommodate the larger brakes equipped as standard on a turbo model, but in Japan were optional extras. Both models had a space-saver spare tire on a steel rim to save both space and weight. Toyota took measures to reduce the weight as this new model, aluminum was used for the hood / bonnet, target top when it was fitted, front cross member, oil pan, transmission pan, and forged upper suspension A-arms. Other measures included hollow carpet fibers, magnesium alloy steering wheel, plastic gas tank and lid, dished out head bolts, gas injected rear wing, and a single pipe exhaust. Despite having more features such as dual airbags, traction control, larger brakes, larger wheels, larger tires, and an additional turbocharger, the car was at least 200 pounds, 91 kilos lighter than its predecessor. 91 kilos lighter than its predecessor. The base model with a manual gearbox had a curb weight of 3,210 pounds, 1,456 kilograms. The target top added 40 pounds, 18 kilos of weight, while the automatic gearbox added 55 pounds, 25 kilos. The 4th gen model had a 51-49 front to rear weight distribution. So it was 51 at the front, 49 at the rear. So the front was a little bit heavier than the rear. Rear was a little bit lighter than the front. You know what I mean. The turbo model weighed 3,450 pounds, 1,565 kilos with a manual gearbox, while the automatic added another 10 pounds, 4.5 kilos to the overall weight. Weight distribution was 53% front and 40% So at 53% front and 47% rear, the Supra was heavier than the Mazda RX-7 and an all-aluminum bodied Acura / Honda NSX, and weighed about the same amount as the Nissan 300ZX, but was lighter than the Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4. By the late 90s, sales of all sports coupes or coupes were declining in North America. Furthermore, a stronger yen pushed prices up in markets outside Japan. The Supra was withdrawn from the Canadian market in 1996 and the US in 1998. The Turbo wasn't available in 1998 in California Air Resources Board, CRB states for short. Production continued in Japan until August 2002, ceasing owning to restrictive emission standards. As the March 2002 Geneva Motor Show, a Japanese bodymaker company called OCZ, Ohno, I think, is spelled OHNO, Carcraft, displayed their 1960s style Grand Tourer based on a Supra known as the Naomi 3. Two variants were available: the naturally aspirated 3000 GT-SZ with the same 165 kilowatt, 225 PS, 222 horsepower as the naturally aspirated Japanese market Supra SZ, and a tuned turbocharged 3000 GT-RZ with 309 kilowatts, 420 PS, 414 horsepower. Makes nearly the same power as an M3 E92 standard one with a 6-speed manual, and an Audi RS4. Performance is next. The turbocharged variant can accelerate 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, 0 to 60 miles an hour in as low as 4.6 seconds, and covered 402 meters, a quarter mile, in 13.1 seconds at 175 kilometers an hour, 109 miles an hour. 109 miles an hour. Car and Driver magazine includes a rollout in their 4.6 seconds test, typically about 0.3 seconds, that they subtract from the acceleration figures. The turbo version had a tested top speed of 257 kilometers an hour, 160 miles an hour, but the cars are restricted to just 180 kilometers an hour, 112 miles an hour in Japan, and 250 kilometers an hour, 155 miles an hour in worldwide markets. European versions of the car also had an air intake or scoop on the hood or bonnet. It had a drag coefficient of 0.31 for the naturally aspirated models and 0.32 for the turbo models, but unknown with the rear wing. The standard A.A. Supra chassis has also proven an effective platform for road racing, with several top 20 and top 10 One Lap of America finishes in the SSGT1 class. Is there, so I know where it is. Alright. In 1994, the A80 managed remarkable skid pad ratings of 0.95 lateral Gs, 200 feet, and 0.98 lateral Gs, 300 feet. The Supra also featured a 4-sensor, 4-channel track-tuned ABS system with yaw control, whereby each caliper is centered and the brakes are controlled individually according to the speed, angle, and pitch of the approaching corner. This unique F1-inspired braking system allowed the Supra Turbo to record a 113 km/h, 70 mph to 0 braking distance of 149 feet, 45 meters. The best braking performance of any production car tested in 1997 by Car and Driver magazine. Where is it gone? Oh, there, I can see right there was a plane. So this unique F1-inspired braking system allowed the Supra Turbo to record a 113 km/h, 70 mph to 0 braking distance of 149 feet, 45 meters. the best braking performance of any production car tested in 1997 by Car and Driver magazine. This record was finally broken in 2004 by a Porsche Carrera GT, which did it in 145 feet, 44 meters. So it's 4 feet shorter, 1 meter shorter. So next up we got the 1994 edition. So that one's going to be a good one. In 1994, TRD, which is Toyota Racing Development, displayed a replica of the 1994 JGTC Blitz Racing Team Supra GT500 race car known as the TRD 3000 GT. The differences with the standard Supra was mainly with the body kits aiming for better aerodynamics. Sorry, I had a notification from YouTube. The new body kit made the car 60 millimeters wider at the front and 50 millimeters wider at the rear. This allowed wider wheels to be fitted, which in turn improved the car's lateral grip. The engine and suspension also got small modifications. Only 35 examples of these were ever produced, each of which came with its own specially numbered VIN plate that officially reclassified the car as a TRD 3000 GT rather than a Toyota Supra. Next we got 1995. In 1995, for the 1996 model year in the US, the turbo model was only available with an automatic transmission owing to OBD2 onboard diagnostics 2 certification requirements. The Targa roof was also made standard in all turbo models. Next we got 1996. In 1996, for the 1997 model year, a manual gearbox is returned for the turbo engine along with a redesign of the taillights, headlights, front fascia, polished wheels, and other minor changes such as radio and steering wheel designs. Each Supra had a badge indicating a limited edition 15th anniversary. All turbo models came standard with a rear wing. Next up, we got 1997. In 1997, for the 1998 model year, updates were a 3-spoke steering wheel, a redesigned radio, and a VVTi on the naturally aspirated engine, which is variable valve timing, which I once talked about like around, I don't know, like half a year ago, I think around maybe 6 months ago or so. I don't know, but it was fun, that video. It was like important, and I did videos on air fuel ratios. It was good. In Japan, the turbo engines were installed with VVTi. The SZR model was also updated with the introduction of a 6-speed Getrag V161 gearbox, the same one used for the twin turbo RZ models. Next up, we've got, which I quite like, but it basically is like a similar car underneath, with like the same components. You know what I mean? It is going to be the Mark V A90 Supra, which is a J29DB from 2019, that's how they call it, which is the 5th generation Supra. So let's do this one. So wait before I start. So I got a lot more. So, alright, I'll be back, for part 6, actually. So I'm gonna write this down. Part 6. So it won't take forever, you know, just to do the video. So I'm just gonna, stop recording now, and I'm gonna post the video, and then I'm gonna continue on to do the next part. So, I'll be back for you guys in a minute. So stay tuned. I'll see you guys in a minute. So, stay tuned.